they had some confusion with, the process and who's meant to register. I'm going to be putting an infographic there today, but please note that this does not start. Do not go submitting or filling out any form. This does not start until April 11th. And really think about it this way. If you came into the United States with a visa, whether or not you're a visa overstay, as long as you came in and you get an I-94 of some sort, you already going to be automatically registered. Unless you were under the age of 14 and then you've now turned 14, then you're going to need to re-register and do your biometrics. If you've ever received an employment authorization, you're already registered. So meaning, if let's say you applied for TPS and included like employment authorization, then you're already automatically registered. So really the category of people that haven't been registered that need to register are those who entered without inspection. I know that a lot of times people don't understand when I say without inspection. It means you entered through the border or some sort of way where nobody in immigration inspected you. So maybe simplifying it that way will help make it clearer. Those people need to register. If you do not register, there is a penalty of up to $5,000 and 30 days in jail. Also, once you register, they want you to carry that registration with you. So this obviously doesn't give you a benefit. This is an enforcement process. This is a way to probably deport more people, but it's something that you're legally meant to do unless they say you're not meant to do it. So you really need to be mindful, like I keep telling my clients, and I'm saying that to you guys as an audience, you really, really need to be mindful, one, with who you're discussing your immigration status or situation with. I've been hearing a lot of horror stories recently about people who, their people that they know, like their coworkers that don't like them or their neighbors that don't like them, are calling ICE on them or giving them tips about where they're going to be. So you really need to keep that stuff close to your chest, just you and your attorney, or you and your loved one. Well, your loved one that's not abusive or horrible to you. You really need to stay out of trouble, guys, because don't give the cops a reason to stop you. If the speed limit is 65, there's no reason why you should be going over 70 miles an hour, because when you give them a reason to stop you and you don't have your stuff together, with a lot of the states forming alignment or whatever with ICE, they're going to make it easy for them to deport you. Or, you have situations where they'll say, okay, we don't have a case, but because we already picked you up, we're sending you to ICE because you don't have your status and we don't really understand it. I had a client, like that's what happened, where the person got themselves into some sort of trouble and was like, this person, I'm not really sure why you're sending him to ICE because, he has his case pending or whatever it is. And they're like, okay, we're going to dismiss the case, but because of this, we have to send him to ICE, So just really, 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 really try to stay out of trouble. And then for those who are asking, I've had people ask, should I be filing a petition or just waiting it out? I mean, how can you be eligible for something and wait it out? Like, sometimes you don't even know if the question is like a joke. If you're eligible for something, you better be filing for it. Like with this registration, like they have your information. You're basically giving them every reason to deport you because you're not taking advantage of what it is that you're eligible for. Ashana is asking, is the new administration slowing down the filing process? Absolutely. Like we have not gotten filing receipts for cases that we filed like from January 15th. Like, I don't know what's happening or why they're slowing this stuff down, but it's taken me back to the previous administration and during COVID times where we would not get receipt notices for like 3 months. So we're definitely seeing that. But I will tell you that we're seeing a speed in naturalization cases. Like when I mean lightning speed. So if you qualify to apply for citizenship, this is the time. We're seeing like 4-month, 5-month turnaround. Today alone, like, okay, the interview I went for this morning, just before I jumped in here, was a 10-year green card interview for an approved VAWA applicant, but we also have 3 naturalization interviews this afternoon. So they're doing naturalizations back to back to back, like very quickly. So if you qualify for naturalization, this is the fastest that I've seen it in a very long time. As far as marriage-based cases kind of they're kind of still looking the same, because we're kind of coming out of the aftermath of where they were doing a lot of bypasses. Like interview bypasses to now doing more interviews. So I need more time to see kind of what the process is. But receipt notices, we're definitely seeing a really long time. Can you do citizenship 1 year after you get the 48-month extension? So no, the way citizenship works is based on your eligibility to apply. You could have a 3-year eligibility or you could have a 5-year eligibility. So if you're filing a joint filing with your spouse, you have to do 3 threes. You have to show that your spouse has been a U.S. citizen for 3 years. You've been married to your spouse for 3 years, and you've been a green card holder for 3 years. If you have all those things, then whether or not you have the 48 months, you can apply for citizenship. Once you qualify for all the other things, to qualify for citizenship, remember, you have to show proof of good moral character in the last 5 years preceding your application. You also have to show that in the last 5 years, and I'm just saying 5 years right now because I'm just imagining that, most people here are doing it on the 5-year timeline. But if this is on a 3-year timeline, just divide it into half what I'm saying. So basically, if it's 3 years, you want to show good moral character within the 3 years. If it's based on marriage, if it's not based on marriage, you want to show 5 years. Same applies to travel, right? You want to show that out of those 5 years, half of that time has been here in the United States. And if you're doing it based on 3 years, you want to show half of that time here has been in the United States. And if you've spent any time outside of the United States for 6 or more months, you really want to have and bring evidence to show why you didn't abandon the US and that those trips had reasons why they were that long. Also, you want to show that you are paying child support, supporting any children that you have that are 18 or under, regardless of if you're male or female. So, if you're a female and your child is not in your custody, you want to show how you're supporting that child financially. Same applies to if you're male and the child is not living with you, you want to provide proof of how you're supporting that child financially. Also, you want to show that you are paying taxes and you are filing taxes. It is okay if you are on a payment plan, because people ask me that a lot. Like, if you're on a payment plan, is it okay? Or does that affect taxes? As long as you're in a payment plan and you're paying your payments, it's not going to affect you filing for naturalization. Now, if you owe money and all of a sudden you want to get on a payment plan like the same week you're applying for naturalization, then it's not going to look good. It's going to look like you're doing it just for naturalization. So you want to try and get on that and start paying down some of the payments before you apply for naturalization. You also have to show that wherever or whatever state that you're applying from, that you have lived in that city at least for 3 months prior to the application. If not, they're not going to have jurisdiction. What else am I forgetting? So if you're a male between the ages of 18 to 25, you want to make sure that you've registered for selective service. And what selective service is basically it's for military conscription. Like, if let's say we go to war, you could be selected or something like that. If you didn't register and you're over the age of 30, there's some exemptions, that you might have. And I'm happy to show you how to check or verify if you're eligible. Let's say you schedule a consult, I'll tell you whether or not I can check the system to see if you registered or not. Somebody's asking, when your VAWA was approved, did you have to pay for a Form I-485? No, you don't have to pay for a Form I-485. Right now, if you put in a Form I-485, there is no additional fee if you are a VAWA applicant. Now, if you applied for VAWA and adjustment of status before April of 2024, you would have automatically had to pay the filing fee, which was $1,225 at that time. But if you're just applying now, based on VAWA, you don't need to apply. You know, and I see a lot of questions, guys. I have to jump off. And like I told you, I literally ran in from my USCIS interview to get on this live for like 10 minutes because I know I'm going to be in another interview on Tuesday. Like I am telling you guys, like it's back to back to back every day. I was there yesterday at 7 a.m. You know, like it's crazy this period for me. Like, so I'm either going to need to find a new time, like do it at night or something. I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. I'll see when else I can come on, you know, maybe later on this week and give you guys more time. All right, guys. Bye.